chapters that are going to be tested on the end of this week. So for you guys, that's going to be on Thursday at what at 2:30. And at the moment, it looks like sort of come into the course college and sit down at a table and do the test. Now, I haven't decided whether it's going to be paper or lockdown browser one, but I can see some advantages of doing lockdown browser one, so I might do that. The advantages being that, well, for sure, I'm going to get some student that is not able to come into college because of COVID eventualities. So yeah, that would sort of be a good backup for that purpose. So as I said, these points, they are not meant to be sort of coherent sentences or anything like that. You couldn't sort of look at them and sort of just memorize those things and then you'd be ready for the test. No, you need some context. So you would need to look at these points and find them in your notes and make sure that you understand them. So these are supposed to be sort of memory joggers for you. These are the things that you should know and understand for the test. So what I mean by that is if you see something there, service quality, reliability, business performance, and ITSM, you should know what is service quality. What are we referring to there? How does that relate to ITSM, business performance and reliability? And you can refer back to the lectures or the PowerPoints on that. And there's some parts that I specifically missed out things because they're kind of straight off a slide. So for example, if you see something like this, change management cycle, request change, etc. through to the review. What that means is there's a bunch of things. There's about 6 of them, and I didn't list them all, right? I just listed the first and the last, and you should go and find that. What is the change management cycle? What are all the different processes in a change management cycle? And you should understand that. That's so. Here's another one, RFC. What that means is so I'm going to be totally upfront and honest with you. I have not written the test yet. The test is not ready. What my process in making the test was first condense all of the factual information into a sort of a stream like this, something which I can see some small facts from which I can ask some questions. So I think this should help you because these are the little facts from which I will be answering questions. Though, as I said, you may need to go and look at some context to make sure you understand exactly it. So yeah, 4 sets of notes I've sort of condensed now for my own use, and I thought I'd share that with you. What I think is testable, and now the test will not include all of these things unless I do a lockdown browser with. I mean, I could do a lockdown browser test where all of these things are tested, and how we do those is maybe I make 50 questions, but you have to answer 10, and then the questions are randomly assigned to you. So that's a nice way of doing it because then every student gets a slightly different test. And so they're randomly assigned in what order they appear, and they're also randomly assigned as which questions the students get. That's one thing I do like about D2L Quizmaker is that it can make very unique tests for each student. But the problem is then I have to write a lot of questions. And as I said, I don't really have an exam bank to work on. But if I get enough time between now and I don't know, I still need to sleep sometime, right? I've been here since like 7 in the morning. So that's what the test will be from. Now I'm not saying that there's nothing that is not on that page that will be on the test. However, anything that's on the test will be pointed to by something that's on this page. Does that make sense? So in other words, there may be, like here's a point, de jure versus de facto. Okay, you should know, what do we mean by that in the context of service management? And so this has to do with standards, and there was a couple of slides about it, right? And so we have de jure standards, which are actually sort of implemented by governments or professional associations or whatever. And then there's de facto standards, which are brought about as a need is seen within the IT community, perhaps even in a local area, and then that's adopted, and then maybe later becomes a de jure standard. So de jure means by law, kind of by law, yeah, and de facto means, well, just it's this is how this is the fact of the matter, and that's just the way it is, and it's not specified by any sort of law. I got a question here. The test will only be about the first 3 chapters. Uh, did I say that? I thought it was the first 4 chapters. It's up until change management. Um, it's up until change management. It doesn't include configuration management. So if go and have a look at your slides and see where that is, I think that does include chapter 4. So yeah, so 4 chapters. So if you look in your content, you'll see chapter 4. So we have actually discussed configuration management, but the test is only going to go till change management. So if you look in your content, you got chapter 1, Introduction to ITSM, chapter 2, which is really about incident management and maybe a little bit of problem management, chapter 3, process and procedures, chapter 4, change management. So that's what the test will be about. Okay, so I hope that sort of makes sense. Okay, any other sort of